Hey everyone, welcome to A&R Black Hats. I'm Glitch. This is a glitch in the system. It is a new video that I'm going to be doing. This is completely geared towards new players. Just trying to ease them into the game. I know that there's a lot of jargon and terms, and you may not understand the differences between some of the different corporations, some of the different runners. So I'm here to try to ease you into that, and I hope you really enjoy. So Denial is a sort of deck that is trying to force your opponent into a position where they need to recover from something. So when you're trying to, when you play an account siphon, you are denying the corporation of credits and forcing them to recover by either clicking for their economy or spend the turn using their economy cards in order to recoup what they had just lost. Same goes for like when you're destroying their ice. You're forcing them to recover by having to build up that ice again. And same goes for discarding cards, or even when you're hitting them with damage, like net damage, brain damage, meat damage. You're forcing the runner at that point to have to spend their entire turn drawing cards back up, rather than making the runs that they need to do in order to win the game. The whole point is to put your opponent into a position where they can no longer advance what they're trying to do with their deck and making them play your game. A great example of this is the Sly Squid Provoke to Purge deck. The point is to put out a whole bunch of viruses, milling their deck and putting them in the corporation into a position in which they need to purge, which wastes their entire turn. It makes them lose their turn. It still advances your goals because you're going to just continue to do what you're doing. So Deep Dig refers to multi-access, specifically when you're doing a large amount of multi-access. Something like the card Medium with, let's say, 10 virus counters on it. That is a Deep Dig. It's different from when you have a single R&D interface and you're seeing an additional card. Deep Dig is seeing as many cards as you possibly can in a single click, in a single run. Another great example of it is when you have two, maybe all three of your R&D interfaces down, and then you also hit them with a Maker's Eye. Deep Dig is normally referred to the R&D because you're going to be seeing a lot more cards than you would be in HQ. I guess you technically could say you can Deep Dig into HQ by accessing all of the cards, but usually people are referring to R&D when they're saying Deep Dig. So Facecheck, or Facechecking is when you are running at a server or a piece of ice, usually just to see what it is, hoping that the corp is going to flip it over, res it, and forcing them to lose their credits, but also just seeing what it is. Usually you're doing this without any breakers down, because, well, I mean, you wouldn't want to have your barrier breaker down and then them flip something that's going to trash it. That will also flip over to face planting, when your face check goes completely wrong. When you go to run at a unadvanced remote server and it ends up being a snare rather than a Jackson Howard that you were hoping it was going to be. When you get hit with something that you really didn't want to get hit with. Again, going back to that example, you put your corroder down and then you decide that you're going to go face check a piece of ice and they flip over a roto turret. You've now just face planted into that roto turret, lost your corroder. So Shell Game. Shell Game is a corp term in which you are placing a lot of face down remotes and making the runner really guess what is what, where things are. It's referring to like the old style like card sort of tricks, or the ball and cup, where people, like, you're on the street and some guy is telling you pay $5 and guess where the queen is, guess where the jack is, guess where the ball is. It's trying to put the runner into a position where they have absolutely no idea where to run. Whether you've just placed down an agenda, just placed down a trap, just placed down economy, and you have so many remotes that they have no idea where anything is. So tempo and pacing is the speed of play, or a cause and reaction. It goes back to when I was talking about denial. Tempo is your speed of play, how your turns go, and forcing your opponents as well into losing their speed. A great example of this is when on the corporation's turn, they put down a piece of ice onto a remote, their HQ, and their R&D, and what you've just done on your turn is run at it and then trashed it. It's forcing them to essentially lose out on their clicks, lose out on their tempo, because now they have to recover, wasting a click that they wanted to use on something else. Locking. It's mostly referred to, well, it's R&D and HQ locking. What it is you have built, as a runner, you have now built up a rig and efficient ways of deep digging or milling, where you've now, every single turn, can make at the very least one very efficient run on either R&D or HQ. A great example of this is the Sly Squid, again, making fantastic decks. His Max Mother Effer deck, where the whole point is that he's going to be using Eater and Keyhole and milling you down. The best part about that sort of deck is that it can flip from R&D to HQ lock. By one turn, he uses Keyhole a lot to mill through cards through your deck, and then the next turn he switches it up and hits you with an Account Siphon or a Wanton Destruction, and just decimates your HQ. Thank you for watching my video. Remember to like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ANRBlackHats. And to subscribe to us on YouTube at www.youtube.com/ANRBlackHats.